Squirrels! I found my place. Okay, the last thing I said was, try them and let me know how they suit. I'll leave you the book. Thanks. I wanted something fine to read up here, and judging by what I see, I fancy this will suit. Only Aunt Jessie may think I'm putting on airs if I try Emerson. Why should she? He has done more to set young men and women thinking than any man in this century, at least. Don't you be afraid if it's what you want. Take it and go ahead as he tells you. Without halting, without rest, lifting better up to best. I'll try, said Rose meekly, feeling that Mac had been going ahead himself much faster than she had any suspicion. Here a voice exclaimed, "Hello!" And looking around, Jamie was discovered, surveying them critically as he stood in an independent attitude like a small colossus of Rhodes in brown linen, with a bundle of molasses candy in one hand, several new fish hooks cherished carefully in the other, and his hat well on the back of his head, displaying as many freckles as one's somewhat limited nose could reasonably accommodate. "How are you, young one?" said Mac, nodding. "Tip-top. Glad it's you. Thought Archie might have turned up again, and he's no fun." "Where'd you come from, and what do you come for? How long are you going to stay? Want a bit? It's jolly good." With which varied remarks Jamie approached, shook hands in a manly way, and sitting down beside his long cousin, hospitably offered sticks of candy all around. "Did you get any letters?" asked Rose, declining the sticky treat. "Lots, but Mama forgot to give 'em to me, and I was rather in a hurry, for Mrs. Atkinson said somebody had come, and I couldn't wait," explained Jamie, reposing luxuriously with his head on Mac's legs and his mouth full. "I'll step and get them. Auntie must be tired, and we should enjoy reading the news together." "She's the most convenient girl that ever was," observed Jamie as Rose departed, thinking Mac might like some more substantial refreshment than sweetmeats. "I should think so, if you let her run your errands, you lazy little scamp," answered Mac, looking after her as she went up the green slope, for there was something very attractive to him about the slender figure in a plain white gown with a black sash about the waist and all the wavy hair gathered to the top of the head with a little black bow. "Sort of pre-Raphaelite, and quite refreshing after the fur-bellowed creatures at the hotels," he said to himself as she vanished under the arch of scarlet runners over the garden gate. "Oh well, she likes it. Rose is fond of me, and I'm very good to her when I have time," continued Jamie, calmly explaining. "I let her cut out a fish hook when it caught in my leg with a sharp penknife, and you'd better believe it hurt. But I never squirmed a bit, and she said I was a brave boy. And then one day I got left on my desert island out in the pond. You know, the boat floated off, and there I was for as much as an hour before I could make anyone hear. But Rose thought I might be there, and down she came and told me to swim ashore. It wasn't far, but the water was horrid cold, and I didn't like it. I started, though, just as she said, and got on all right till about halfway. Then cramp or something made me shut up and howl, and she came after me, splash dash, and pulled me ashore. Yes, sir, as wet as a turtle, and looking so funny, I laughed, and that cured the cramp. Wasn't I good to mind when she said, 'Come on'?" "She was, to dive after such a scapegrace. I guess you'd led her a life of it, and I'd better take you home with me in the morning," suggested Mac, rolling the boy over and giving him a good-natured pummeling on the haycock, while Dulce Dulce, whatever, applauded from her nest. When Rose returned with ice-cold milk, gingerbread, and letters, she found the reader of Emerson up in the tree, pelting and being pelted with green apples as Jamie vainly endeavored to get at him. The siege ended when Aunt Jessie appeared, and the rest of the afternoon was spent in chat about home affairs. Early the next morning, Mac was off, and Rose went as far as the old church with him. "Shall you walk all the way?" she asked as he strode along beside her in the dewy freshness of the young day. "Only about 20 miles, then take car and whisk back to my work," he answered, breaking a delicate fern for her. "Are you never lonely?" "Never. I take my best friends along, you know." He gave a slap to the pocket from which peeped the volume of Thoreau. "I'm afraid you leave your very best behind you," said Rose, alluding to the book he had lent her yesterday. "I'm glad to share it with you. I have much of it here, and a little goes a great way, as you will soon discover," he answered, tapping his head. "I hope the reading will do as much for me as it seems to have done for you. I'm happy, but you are wise and good. I want to be, and good I want to be also. Read away and digest it well, then write and tell me what you think of it, will you?" he asked as they paused where the four roads met. "If you will answer. Shall you have time with all your other work? Poetry, I beg pardon. Medicine is very absorbing, you know," answered Rose mischievously, for just then, as he stood bareheaded in the shadows of the leaves playing over his fine forehead, she remembered the chat among the haycocks, and he did not look at all like an M.D. "I'll make time. Goodbye, Milton. Goodbye, Sabrina." And that's it. Oh, a little after 7 minutes. Well, I'll stop just because I want this to be separate from chapter 17, but then I'll come back on and see how much of 18 I can get read. It's called Which Was It? Okay, be sweet, don't be ugly. I'll be right back. Bye-bye.